So let's commit today's program into God's hand and pray that we'll have a successful program today. Let's pray for unity among blacks, among the community members, and amongst everybody. Let's pray for Canada as well, because this land has blessed us, has brought us together from different backgrounds, and given us space to share. Once again for joining us today. We appreciate your presence, we appreciate your time. Thank you for making this time to be here. It means a lot to us. This month is the month of Black History Month, and we celebrate our uniqueness and our diversity, and we acknowledge our roots and our backgrounds as a people, our stories, our history, and we're going to be showcasing our strengths, our diversity, and also our uniqueness in different events. So today we are having our Proclamation Day event, and I'm going to be reading land acknowledgements. So we respectfully acknowledge that we are on Treaty 6 territory, traditional lands of First Nations and Métis people. As treaty people, indigenous and non-indigenous, we share the responsibility for stewardship of this beautiful land. So on this note, I'm going to welcome our president, Sister Helen, to come and give us a welcome note. Let's put our hands together for her. She's an amazing leader, and yeah, she's taking her time.
Thank you very much. That was a good warning. Don't trip. On behalf of the African and African Descendants Friendship Club of St. Albert, I want to welcome all of you today to this proclamation. It's so interesting that 5 years ago we started this proclamation, and it has become a tradition. I want to thank all of you for coming out, because if people don't come out, it doesn't happen. It's the people that come out that make it happen. And I want to say thank you to all of you. As I started, I said this has become a tradition. And it's a tradition that we want to hand over to our children. And it's something that we want them to know it is important. Why is this important? This building is our civic building. And most times when we come to this building, we come to pay property taxes. We come to apply for permits. We come to do different things in this building. This building represents power. This building represents authority. In this building, policies are made. And we want to make sure people of African descent, we are not far from this building. We want to make sure that we have people from our community rising to places of power, places of authority, places where policies are being made in this community. So we started this 5 years ago, and we have continued. And we want this to keep continuing. When we are no longer here, that's why we encourage our parents to bring your children, because we want them to note that this is a tradition. And we want to thank Mayor Cathy Heron. I know she's not here today because she's volunteering to teach English in Mexico. But I want to appreciate her for obliging us the opportunity to always sit here in this building to do this proclamation. We appreciate it, and we want to ensure and we pray that subsequent mayors will keep doing this, not just for the African community, but for every one of us, that this space is open to every one of us. When we have challenges or when we don't have challenges, when we want to celebrate, this space is also part of our own space as people of African descent. Something again I want to say is that Black History Month is not just about just 1 month. It's about our past. It is about our present. And it's also about our future. Most of us sitting down here one day will just be in the past, but today we're in the present. And so as we gather here, let us just know that it's not just only about today. Today we gather, we'll remember people like Viola Desmond that had to stand up against discrimination. She's part of our past. She likely was not living in St. Albert, but she's part of our past as people of African descent. We want to remind immigrants too that come, that don't know that history. This Canada that we see today used to be a place where people of color were not allowed in places like this. Let us not forget. Let us ensure that that discrimination doesn't continue, because they still exist in subtle ways in different places. I say this because I know people are still being discriminated because of their color, how their name sounds, their accent, how their food tastes. That discrimination still exists in some circles, and that's the reason why we do what we do. We want to ensure that it doesn't continue. We want to ensure that our people are bold. We want to ensure that our people have confidence. St. Albert is your own city. And we talk about our present. Our present includes so many people doing amazing things in our community. It's something people don't know. We have lots of businesses owned by people of African descent in this community. And I appreciate that today we're going to be honoring them because they contribute to the fabric of our community. There are lots and lots of businesses. You know, St. Albert, as small as we think, okay, we're 70,000. We have 3 medical facilities owned by people of African descent in this community. And more will come. So that's our present. Our present is bright. Our present is beautiful. It talks about the excellence that we exhibit as people of African descent. Our children are in schools. They are our future. And so we have to make sure we make room. We make sure that their future is bright, their future is strong. So I encourage all of you as we celebrate today, please celebrate with us. There will be lots and lots of things that will be happening in this month of February. The library has beautiful art displays and stories about people of African descent. Stop by and look at the stories. In the next 2 Fridays, the library will have 2 movie nights. We're going to be talking about John Ware and the Caribbeans, the story about the Caribbeans. Please come out and support these events. We're going to be doing presentations in lots of schools, in daycare, in St. Albert. Because we know there's some schools and daycares. Some children will never have a working relationship with someone of color in St. Albert. It's not their fault. It is what it is. So we're going to be putting our faces there for them to know that we have people of African descent that are members of this community. So please, help us spread the word. If you have a place, you have a club, a social club that are going to be meeting, bring someone of African descent to come speak to you about Black History Month. Help us spread the word. If you have a kid in a school, help us spread the word in your kids' class, in their daycare. We want the discrimination to end, and it's just step by step we'll get there. I don't want to continue the speech anymore. I want to say thank you so much. Your presence here means a lot to us. And on behalf of the board and members of the African and African descendants, I say thank you so very much for coming. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Next on my agenda here is poetry presentation by Ntwali. So a brief introduction about Ntwali. Ntwali Kaijaho is a Rwandan and Canadian hip-hop artist based in Edmonton. He's a psychology graduate from McEwan University. He's a motivational speaker and an upcoming hip-hop artist. His uplifting message is delivered through his conscious lyrics laid over soulful beats. Today, he will be presenting a series of poems. Ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome Ntwali.
I feel very honored and I'm very grateful to just grow and learn and just continue to share my message as well as through my art as well. So I have a couple of poems I'd like to share today. My first one is 23 and Me, and I'm excited to share this one with you guys. All right. All right, 23 and Me. Look, applying to hella jobs, I'm hoping that they hit me back. New Orleans on the resume, you know the name is hella black. I gotta been to hell and back, but they don't want to hear all that. But once I pick the lock, I promise I ain't gonna give it back. I don't smoke a drink, so you know these are some sober thoughts. I've enlightened myself and it got me feeling like some Buddhist monks. It got me wondering, thinking, pondering, why we celebrate my people on the shortest month, and why does it gotta be one of the coldest ones? Look, I'm playing. I'm grateful, really. We crawled before we could walk. We walked before we could fly. We ran before we could fly. Listen, so I hurt so much when I see one of my black people die. Through my rigorous study of the human condition, I've come to find out that we're not that different. If you look at our blood, skulls, and bones instead of our pigment, if you trace us all the way back, you realize our relatives ain't that distant. And if you did a 23 and Me, you realize it had some African in it. Happy with that one too. Another one I have is called Jungle, and a little bit about my story. So my family and I moved to Edmonton after growing up in Windsor, Ontario, but my parents survived the Rwandan genocide, so seeing my parents come as refugees with some of my siblings, and my dad was also a doctor back home, so he had to relearn and restudy to get his medical license in Canada while raising 5 boys and working 2 jobs. My mom was also working, so I have some big shoes to fill, to say the least, but just to see their work ethic and how they've never complained one day in their lives, it just changed the way I view life. And my cousin said a very powerful thing. He said that he's never seen like our parents or his parents who suffered a similar struggle as my parents. They never look up to the sky and wonder why me. And that's just really powerful. Like sometimes I catch myself doing it. I'm like, but what do I have to complain about? You know. So like I just want to share that for perspective purposes. You know. So this one's called Jungle. The title isn't the jungle itself, but it's like a metaphor for the struggles and the hurdles that we've all overcome coming to a new place. And thank you, honestly, what Canada's opened its doors to us. And immigrants are some of the hardest working people, and I'm very proud to say I'm an immigrant and to see what my people have done so far. And listen, like, immigrant or not, like, we're all the same, you know, like, we all have hard-working people and just want to have a better life for our neighbors and ourselves, you know, like the golden rule says. Come on. All right. I'm gonna tell you about the jungle. It's a place where you can't laugh. You got a target on your back for being Hispanic, brown, or black. Your parents taught you to start a trap and a grind to get a bag. I think my mom and pop for that had a dedicated track. They want to say, but they're scared to switch places. And when you raised like us, you the most hated. I wonder why. We got still history books outdated, and they only show you love once you cremated. Way back then, they never lend their ear. I started off amateur, but now I'm top tier. I'm tired of all the skeptics, cause this is our year. Every day above ground, I thank God that I'm here. I'm sure they buy their prayers, that's why I feel so protected. I'm following their footsteps, why I feel so respected. Take you to my childhood just to see this perspective. Thought I'd keep it real, I gotta be so reflective. I put a fall from the tree, that's why I got this hustle. And if you see you ain't on our team, you can't be up in the huddle. You came up different when you came from the jungle. Your mind stayed different. If you ever seen your parents struggle, where you overqualified for every level of employment, when you give it all you got, but you still left with disappointment. A village was a child, so I'm paying respect. If I don't speak on childhood, I'll live with regret. I'm thinking about St. Patrick's. My school was down the block. Mom was working too hard. Pops was working 2 jobs. Made time for family while I worked around the clock. Y'all gave me the blueprint. Y'all forever my rock.
Thank you very much. Next, we're going to be welcoming our MPs and MLAs. Our MP, Michael Cooper, is not here today. He is the Conservative Member of Parliament for St. Albert, Edmonton. Cooper serves as the Shadow Minister for Democratic Reform and as a member of the Standing Committee on Procedure and House Affairs. Today he's being represented by Patty Schools. I hope I pronounced that right. Sorry about that. So she's the Constituency Affairs Office of Michael Cooper, Member of Parliament for St. Albert. Also, we have MLA Marie Reynolds. Let's put our hands together for MLA Marie Reynolds. Let's put our hands also together for MLA David Shepherd. We also have Marilyn McGrath.
I'm not sure.
Okay. So we have Marie Reynolds as the MLA for Albert NDP critic for community social services. We have MLA David Shepherd as MLA for Edmonton City Centre. We also have Minister of Service, Alberta and Red Tape Reduction, Deonali. Deonali is not here with us today. MLA Deonali is not here with us today. Okay, I've just been told that MLA Sheriff had. I hope I pronounced it right.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I just together. Okay, so for Black History Month Proclamation, Councillor Ken McKay is representing the mayor today. Let's put our hands together for him. He's going to be giving us a message from the mayor who is outside of the country on a volunteer service. So let's put our hands together as we welcome him while he gives us a message from the mayor.
Thank you. I hope you don't think I'm going to rap this. We could try it if you want to do it. So I'm here representing City Council, and we've got Councillor Wes Broadhead, we got Councillor Shelley Bermansky, and I'm just scanning the room to see if Councillor Mike Killick is here or not, or Councillor Natalie Jolie. No, I don't see anybody else here. And so welcome, and I just want to know, we've already read the proclamation. We actually taped it with Helen, and we're going to be putting that up on our social media pages, and also we'll be probably running it in our first council meeting, which is on Tuesday. So I'm going to be rereading the proclamation, and so we'll go through that, and I'll probably get Helen or somebody who do I get to read it to? Oh, Helen's. Yeah, we're going to have but before you run up here, you know me well enough to know that I have to say a few words. Anyways, so Black History Month certainly provides our community with an opportunity to reflect and better appreciate the amazing accomplishments of our Black Canadians. Your rich heritage, your culture, your contributions help make our city such a better place, and for that we are all extremely grateful. So a few years ago, I'm not sure if a lot of you know this, but the City of St. Albert issued a declaration on diversity and inclusion, and we remain committed to providing a welcoming environment for all our residents, where we embrace our diverse ethnicity and backgrounds. One of the best ways to get to know one another is sharing our stories, our experience, and our history, and that's just to re-emphasize what Helen had said earlier in her opening comments. So I really want to commend the Africans and African Descendants Friendship Club of St. Albert for their vision, your energy, and your commitment to sharing the many accomplishments of Canadians of African descent. Together we can celebrate these achievements and make progress on a journey towards more equitable opportunities for all our residents and community. And as Helen has mentioned earlier, I want everybody to take advantage of what the library has with 2 online watch parties that are occurring on the next 2 Fridays. I also, and you guys know this really well, I really enjoy Taste of Africa, and that's coming up in the Arden Theatre. It's such a wonderful way to gather and celebrate a variety of artistic performances, and as you can tell, enjoy some great food as well. So it now gives me some great pleasure to read out the proclamation again. I'm not sure if somebody's going to come up, or, like I said, you do not want me to rap whereases. So, Black History Month. Whereas, throughout its long history, St. Albert has been characterized and strengthened by its diverse and distinctive cultures. People of African descent have made significant contributions to the development and betterment of the city of St. Albert. The Black community continues to play a vital role within the social and cultural mosaic that is St. Albert. And whereas Black History Month was first recognized in Ontario in February of 1993, marking the 200th anniversary of the passage of legislation prohibiting the importation of slaves into Upper Canada. And whereas Black History Month was first recognized in St. Albert in February of 2020, as you've identified, and continues to provide the opportunity to commemorate, celebrate, and recognize the achievements of Canadians of African descent, and to recognize the rights to equal opportunity and freedom from discrimination in Canada. And whereas this proclamation coincides with the United Nations Declaration of the International Decade for People of African Descent, which is from 2015 to 2024, this international decade encourages Canada and other countries to take action to protect and promote the human rights of people of African descent, and to recognize the invaluable contributions that people of African descent has contributed to communities worldwide, including St. Albert. So therefore, on behalf of all of our council and the residents of this great community, on behalf of Mayor Kathy Heron, I do hereby proclaim February as Black History Month, and we've even added an extra day this year.
Okay, moving on to our next item on the list, we have, we have MP Cooper's representative, Patty Scott. She's going to be giving us 1 or 2 talk. Yeah, let's welcome her. Let's put our hands together for her. Yeah.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be here today on behalf of Michael Cooper, Member of Parliament for St. Albert, Edmonton, as we celebrate the Black Business Owners Awards and Black History Month. MP Cooper regrets that he cannot be here today as he has a prior commitment in Ottawa. This month, we recognize the many past and present contributions that Black Canadians have made to all aspects of our society. Generations of Black Canadians have played a significant role in the settlement, development, and prosperity of Canada, and continue to make Canada a better place. St. Albert is enriched by a growing Black community and an increasing number of Black businesses. I want to acknowledge the important work that the Africans and African Descendants Friendship Club of St. Albert does to promote and bring awareness to all aspects of Black culture. Our community is strengthened because of the club's leadership. As we celebrate Black History Month, I encourage all Canadians to learn more about the far-reaching contributions that Black Canadians have made to Canada.
Thank you very much. So I'm just going to say one thing briefly. So I'm glad to be Black, and I'm honored to be Black. I didn't choose this color, but I'm grateful, and I will cherish it. I'm going to cherish my history. I'm going to cherish my story, and I'm going to cherish my heritage. So next on the list, we're going to have Marilyn McGrath. She's going to be telling us about what Black History Month means to her. Let's put our hands together for her.
Find my glasses.
Thank you. I've been struggling with that. Thank you. So we're going to give her a moment while she comes over. There you go.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here. I'm grateful and thankful, and I just want to say a special thank you to Helen. I love this lady. I met her 5 years ago here in this building, actually, when I was registering our Black business. And she was there doing the licensing and whatever have you. And from there, we just connected, and I've continued. I'm also a member of the African descendant. My family's from the Caribbean, but my family's ancestors, they come from Ghana. And they were taken from Ghana, West Africa, to Jamaica as slaves way back when. And and that's been our history. Amen. But I'm supposed to tell you what Black History Month means to me. And so I have a little thing here. Black History Month celebration often opens up with the sharing of cultural dance performances, an expressive song of empowerment, of freedom and liberty, and the sharing of storytelling. I am here to share my story of what Black History Month means to me on my journey in calling Alberta my home. Hopes, dreams, and wishes. As I reminisce and share my family story of how I arrived here as a young child in Alberta in the late 60s, it validates my human spirit that I matter, that yes, I can. I am an important human being with dreams that can come true if given an equal opportunity to do so. Black History Month 2024 encourages me to be thankful as I recognize and celebrate the legacy of our past history, and appreciate as I evaluate our present, and to be intentional as I plan for the future of my children, my grandchildren, and the community I call home, which is St. Albert, Alberta. And again, I say hopes, dreams, and wishes. So Black History Month 2024 speaks to me of changes. And I left my picture there, the picture that says, if there were no changes, there would never be a butterfly. It has been said, be the change you want to see, and I say, I am the change I want to see. And then I have a poem like the rapper, but I'm not a rapper. It's called The Bruised Reed. My past does not dictate my future, nor does my first impression need to stay with thee. For there is much beauty in my brokenness. Look, and you will see. Not a trace of shame I choose to feel. Gone forever are my yester fears. I am no longer the bruised reed I used to be. I am the change I want to see. And then with this change, I have to give tribute to my parents, because today I give thanks that my father and mother brought us here, and they have been a part of my life since my birth. My life has been a story, sometimes a poem, sometimes a dream with challenging scenes. Other times, life has been a discovery of events that are up and sometimes down, resulting in change. I am learning to enjoy my God-given life and what God has prepared for me. I have come to realize that life is fragile, so I must handle life with a prayer. And I love to use quotes. My husband always says, don't use quotes, but I love quotes. And I found this one. It says, it's easy to know where you're going when you understand where you've been. And so we came to Canada. The year is 1969, March 4th, and it was cold. I'm so grateful for the lovely weather we have right now. I'm just so enjoying it. We moved here actually from Birmingham, England. Anyone here know where that is? I see a show of hands, yes. So my father left the Caribbean, went there in search of a better life for his family. We're a family of 8. And Dad worked really hard as a carpenter. That was the trade that he chose, and he went there. But he felt like after so many years, it wasn't building the dream that he thought, and he picked Canada, and I'm so glad that he did. And so in 1969, we all came over together. I'm looking at my notes so I can make this short as I go through our story. And so we landed in Edmonton, and there was no West Edmonton Mall at the time. It was just land, bare land, and lots of snow. And very little people that even looked like us. But we thought, Alberta is going to be our home. This is where our dreams are going to come true. And so we stayed and landed there and lived there for a while. Our first townhouse that we lived in was at Westmount. And at Westmount, there was hardly any, well, I don't remember seeing anyone of color, just us. And so what Dad would do, he would sit us down around the table and he would say, look at me straight in the eye. The Caribbean culture, a child never looks at an adult in the eye because it's considered rude. We look up to our elders, yes sir, no, right? But Dad said, this is Canada, life is different here. You look people right in the eye. And so we would actually practice that, and we would sit around the table and he would talk to us like that. And he wanted to be sure that that we didn't feel inferior in going to school because we were the only children of color at the time. And look at my hair. And the children would say, oh, you have a British accent, but your color's wrong. Oh, your hair is all fuzzy. It's not straight. And so at that time, I felt like, oh, I didn't know. This is just me. And so Dad sat us down and he would talk to us and he would say, what is the color of love? What does beauty look like? Who are the neighbors? And this would be the conversation repeatedly after dinner. Here's my other quote by Eleanor Roosevelt. No one can make me feel inferior without my permission. And so, because of that kind of teaching, if you want to call it psychology, indoctrination, I felt good about myself. I am black and beautiful, and I love it. I have fuzzy hair, and I love it. I'm going to embrace it. Thank you. My eyes are brown, not blue, but they're beautiful eyes. And so that's how my sisters and I felt about ourselves. Then at the end of time, we were still renting because we were not able to buy yet. And so our lease was up and they did not want to renew our lease. And my parents went searching for a place for us to live, and they found Avenue of Nations, 107 Avenue, 103rd Street. Anyone here know that place? We lived there for several years, and we started to meet other people that were from the Caribbean, Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, and it was just a wonderful feeling to walk down the street and see other people that looked like me. And so one of the stories that I remember is that a lady came over one day and she was talking to my mom, who was a stay-at-home mom, and my mom would babysit to earn extra money. And her sorrow was that her son wasn't eating well, and why not? And she said her son said he was ashamed to open up his thermos because it consisted of hot, savory Caribbean foods. But the kids around him would go, ooh, that smells. And so she said, her son said, the comment was that brown people smell. And so that's kind of stayed with me. And I thought, we need to celebrate our curries. Yeah. We need to celebrate our peppers. And I'm so happy today that we do that. Taste of Africa. Taste of Africa. All about that. The wonderful foods that we so enjoy. The wonderful foods that comfort us. The wonderful foods that we left at home. The wonderful foods that my mother taught me how to cook. And so I went ahead and self-published a cookbook called The Essence of Caribbean Cooking. And you can find that on Amazon if you so want to buy it. Couple things I want to take up all of your time. So just follow me. The year is now 1972, and I'm a teenager, and I'm attending Victoria Composite High School. Anyone here know that high school? And I have my first part-time job as a nursing attendant, and I'm working at the Norwood Extended Nursing Home. My dream was to become a nurse and to go to university and to get certification. And so I did go on to do that, but before that, with my job, I was on what they called the bath team, and I was working with the seniors, and I loved that job. And so I do recall the orientation. I also recall one day being able to get the tray off the trolley and going into this resident's room and handed the coffee. And guess what? She turned around and went, "Here." She chucked it at me. Oh! I was quite shocked. And I thought, oh my goodness, what was that all about? I don't know what she said, but she said something. And then I remember another incident where I went into another room, and this little man, he was, quite petite and quite frail, and he looks at me and he goes, "You're a black nurse?" I'm a teenager, and I look at him and I'm thinking, oh my God, I've got tears now. And I go to my supervisor and I tell her, and she looks at me and she says, "Marilyn, I'm so proud of you that you were able to not retaliate. You just continued to do the work that you were orientated to do." She said, "You will be a fine nurse." And I thought, yes. It is amazing how far you are willing to go when someone believes in you. My father had done a great job planting seeds of hope in his children, and I was the recipient of that seed of hope. My hope was dream and wish to graduate from university and to get certification as a nurse and also in home economics. And guess what? That dream did come true. And I am so excited today that I can stand here and share my story about what Black History Month means to me. I said that it's all about change, and if there was no change, there'd be no butterfly. One last quote by Diana Ross. She said, "You can't just sit there and wait for people to give you that golden dream. You've got to get out there and make it happen." So that's why I say my past does not dictate my future, nor does my first impression need stay with thee. There is much beauty in my brokenness. Look, and you will see. Not a trace of shame I choose to feel. Gone forever are my yesterfears. I am no longer the bruised reed I used to be. I am the change I want to see. Thank you.
I believe we can do better. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you so much for sharing that beautiful part of your story. Thank you so much. Next on the list, I'm going to be inviting Emily Marie Renaud. She's the MLA St. Albert NDP Critic for Community Social Services. Also, I'm going to be welcoming MLA David Shepherd, MLA for Edmonton City Center. Also, I'm going to be welcoming MLA Sharif Haji. Sharif Haji is a member of the Legislative Assembly of Alberta, representing the riding of Edmonton Decor. Let's put our hands together for them as they come give us a message.
Hi, everybody. I'm not going to say very much, obviously. So we have 3 Black members of the Legislative Assembly right now. And we're not stopping there. So I'm actually going to turn it over to my amazing colleagues. I also have a scroll for Helen. I could just drop it off. We don't need to do a presentation. But I'm going to turn it over to our Sharif Haji, who is the MLA for Edmonton Decor.
Well, it's difficult to follow David, so good that I don't have to I don't have to speak after you speak, so that's good. Thank you. Thank you very much, Marlene. That was a powerful story. And the city councilors, community members, a number of community members that I have seen today the 3rd time in a 3rd Black History Month event. I started in the morning today at Beaumont, and they celebrated the first Black History Month in the history of Beaumont, and that is fantastic. And we're here today in St. Albert. So one quote that I'll use One quote that I got from a friend is that the story of today is tomorrow's history. As we celebrate Black History Month, I want to reiterate the story of today because that is tomorrow's history. And it's going tomorrow's Black History Month. As the councillor mentioned, this year is the end of the decade of people of African descent, a decade that was dedicated by the United Nations Assembly to recognize the injustices that have been made to people of African descent and strive for development, whether they are in their homeland Africa or whether they are in the African diaspora. That has been a year that member states are committed to strive for development and justice. We've seen quite a number of improvement for the past few years, not because of something that I know now as a politician, but it is something that I was involved as the former executive director of the Africa Center. We have seen investments, and the most important thing is that we have seen a change of narrative, which means speaking to issues of Black communities, whether it's a piece of legislature that my colleague David has put forward previously on disaggregated data collection, whether it's an investment in the Black businesses, or whether it is improvement and investment in the Black community organizations that continue doing this kind of work throughout the year, not only during the Black History Month. That kind of led to recognition of seeing government budgets having lines that say for Black communities. No pressure, councillors. I hope we will see in the St. Albert councillors discussing about issues on that, and then during budget debates, and I want to see that in our provincial government budget discussions that is going to happen or happening now around issues of Black communities. I say that because of the following reasons. One, Black communities are the fastest growing communities in our province. But not only that, Black communities coming to the province have equal education level compared to the rest of the population, which means educationally educated and contributing to our economy, to the vibrance of our communities. But there is but when it comes to businesses, black businesses struggle to get capital loans so that their businesses cannot improve. If you want to check, there are quite studies that were done recently. You could look up and then see that. When it comes to employment, for those who are not entrepreneurs and who want to be employed, the unemployment rate is higher than the rest of the population. When it comes to the justice system, the interaction of the justice system is higher among black populations than the rest. We have seen during the COVID time, the rates of COVID incidents and mortalities among black populations were higher than the rest, not because of biological differences, but because of the social determinants of health that they are exposed to make them vulnerable. In addition to that, when it comes to housing, it's a key crisis that exists now. They tend to rent higher and own, they are lower in the home ownership and higher in the renters. So those are the stories of today, which will be tomorrow's Black History stories. So I just wanted us to live, but I don't want to leave you with that depression. But I want to talk about the good stories that, as my colleague was saying, that we have the first time 3 black MLAs in our legislature. I said this last night. They accidentally happened, all of them, to come from the NDP. So there's hopeful that the vibrancy, the work these communities is doing, people like Helen, and this continued effort of building a vibrant community in our province is a contribution that will not only contribute today but tomorrow, from an economic perspective, from a community perspective, from a cultural perspective, and from arts perspective. So with that, I want to say Happy Black History Month, and thank you very much for the opportunity.
Well, thank you, Sharif. And just to tag on to what Sharif was saying, you know, there is a very positive story we can tell here about the growth of black communities here in the province of Alberta. And it's why we so much appreciate the work that Helen has done to set up the Africans and African Descendant Friendship Club of St. Albert, which is celebrating 5 years. That's amazing. That is wonderful to see. And you know, back in 1911, when we had reached the huge total of probably just over 1,000 black people that had immigrated to the province of Alberta, a gentleman named MP, he was an MP for Lethbridge, Mr. C.E. Simmons. He gave a speech, and it was printed in the Edmonton Evening Journal. It was called, "We Want No Dark Spots in Alberta." For Mr. Simmons, having just over 1,000 black people in the province, and that was a very small number of people in the population at the time, that was too much. Well, I hate to break it to Mr. Simmons, but there are many bright spots across the province of Alberta now where black communities are growing and thriving. You know, just a few months ago I was down in Lethbridge for a celebration with the BIPOC Foundation, where they were celebrating black business people from across Alberta. Just a couple weeks ago I was up in Fort McMurray and celebrating with the Nigerian Association there, and a couple hundred people in that room. And we know in communities across this province, black communities are growing. We have black city councillors in Fort McMurray and in Spruce Grove, black women on city council in both of those cities. In the fall, I met a black school board trustee from the Wetaskiwin area. And of course, as has been said, we have 3 black MLAs at the legislature, including our colleague Rhiannon Hoyle, who is the first black woman ever elected to the Alberta legislature. So we know black communities are growing and thriving in this province. So organizations like Helen has set up here are so incredibly important in bringing us together as black communities to celebrate and support each other, but also giving us the opportunity to work across communities and between communities. Because that is how we're going to tackle the tough problems we have in front of us. We need to work together across orders of government, not fight, not try to create political division for the sake of gaining power or making more money, but working together And that includes us and Black communities working with other communities in the province, not ignoring problems and injustices that exist, but recognizing that we can work with others to address them and build a better province for all of us. So I want to thank Helen and everybody with the organization. It's a long name. But thank you, Helen, and everybody who's working on that here in St. Albert, all of you who've come to support that today, and everybody who's working on these efforts across the province. That is something to celebrate during Black History Month. Have a wonderful time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So from my own personal perspective, as an immigrant, as a Black person, when you come to a country like Canada, where people are predominantly white, you come with hopes and aspirations and dreams, and you hope to achieve this. You also hope your children also live the dream that you've planned or your parents have planned for them. So on this note, I'm going to be welcoming Director of Educational Research, Training and Capacity Development by the person of Dr. Victor Oluwi. Let's put our hands together for him. So he's a representative of the Canadian Imperial Advantage. They are our partner, and today he's going to be handing out certificates of recognition to businesses in St. Albert. So let's put our hands together for the businesses in St. Albert. So that's businesses that are Black owned in St. Albert.
Yeah, I will introduce him. Yeah. Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure of being in front of these distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Black is beautiful and Black is strong. And even with all the odds, right, I will choose to come again as a Black person, right? It's tough, but I would always choose to come back as a Black person. And before I go on, right, greetings from Canadian Imperial Advantage. I represent them here. My name is Victor Louis, like the lady said. I'm an adjunct professor with a couple of universities in the city, and I worked as the Director of Educational Research and Capacity Development with Canadian Imperial Advantage. One thing about being Black again is that we're very, very resilient, right? That's one very good thing about it, right? And I love what MLA Sharif Raj said now about like a couple of businesses don't have access to funding. I won't be taking your time too much here, right? But I just want to talk about, because that really speaks to what Canadian Imperial Advantage does, right? We know Blacks are strong. They got the grit to face challenges. I'm talking about Canadian Imperial Advantage now. We bring the other softer part of the game, right? The strategy, the ability to help you get funding, right? I mean, we've been chosen by the Canadian government to help organizations, predominantly the Black community, but we don't really limit it to the Black community. Again, anybody is welcome, but predominantly we help the Black community to really get funding for their business. Apart from getting those funding, right, is one thing, getting those funding is another thing, being able to walk the tortuous route of succeeding in a business. And we also help with that. So we do hand-holding, we help you with setting up of your business, we help you with coming up with strategies and initiatives that are going to help you move your business forward. And we've demonstrated it for the past 3 years that we've been around. 3 years, I hope, right? That we've been around. I have a couple of testimonials to give you, right? We just closed a deal, just January 31, just some few days ago, right? 1.6 million to an auto mechanic business in Edmonton. We negotiated a $3 million contract for 3 years on behalf of a group home. We secured a loan of about $1.7 million for a specialized medical clinic already in Edmonton now, right? We funded $900,000, right? Countryside residential land development project. We arranged and structured a highway commercial land for a group of entrepreneurs for $2 million. We secured a loan of $400,000 for a daycare in Calgary. And finally, the last one I have here, we secured $400,000 again for a new restaurant in Edmonton. These are like verifiable facts. These are things we do that we're good at doing, and I will encourage business owners, black business owners out here to come and avail of that opportunity. Don't hit your head against a brick wall, right? We know you've got the grit, you've got the foresight, you've got the vision to do this stuff, but let's work with you. Let's help and hold you. Let's help you open doors to opportunities. And that's all I'm going to say about CIA. I've got a couple of pamphlets here when I'm done with my task here, right? You can come see me and we can talk more about your business vision and how we're going to help you achieve those visions. So that is me with the pitch of CIA, and I hope you guys, business owners here, will want to avail of that opportunity. Now, the other task I've been given by Ellen is to present awards to some business owners in St. Albert, right? I have a couple of names here, and in no particular order, right? I will be reading about these businesses. Then I need to call on the name here, right? Councillor Ken McKee, right, to come and help with the presentation of the certificate. So, in no particular order, right, I'm going to open up this. The first name here is Erin Ridge Medical Clinic, and I'm just going to read a little bit of their bio, if you don't mind. So, Erin Ridge Medical Clinic officially opened their current location on March 29, 2021, and have grown rapidly since. Erin Ridge Medical Clinic is a healthcare facility located on the north end of St. Albert at 975 Street, Albert Trail, Unit 120. Though they will be moving to a larger facility next to Inside Medical Imaging in March this year, renaming to Erin Ridge Family Health Center. It will offer a wide range of services ranging from family medicine to sweat treatment. I never knew something like that. Actually, sweat treatment, yeah. Psychology, mental health, counseling, cosmetic services such as Botox and dye spot and varicose vein treatment. I will call on the representative of Erin Ridge Medical Clinic, and as per today, your business epitomizes this year's theme, Black Excellence, a heritage to celebrate, a future to build.
I think you're going to have to teach him what sweat.
Okay. The next is Vocational Pathway Associates of Edmonton to International Educated Nurses since 2015, online and in-person tutoring in Edmonton and St. Albert, removing barriers in their way to nursing registration. A non-profit organization, the president is Marilyn McGray, an AADFC's member.
We all get your picture taken. My goodness. Yes, there you go.
EH or SH, I mean, I'll have to look for this again. SH Plus Technologies Incorporation, a value-add IT services company, was founded in 2012 and started full operation in 2022. We are partners with major IT hardware and software vendors and located at 34 Akins Drive, St. Albert. We provide IT managed services that include 1, applications, desktop, web, and mobile, development, implementation, support, number 2, hardware workstations, mobile and servers, procurement setup, support, and maintenance. Number 3, network design, setup, and maintenance, security, on-premise, and cloud. And then we do cloud computing services and setup and maintenance. We also offer complementary services such as technology planning, training, recruitment, staff augmentation, operations, and project management. So again, EH Plus Technology, your business epitomizes this year's Black Excellence, a heritage to celebrate and a future to build. Now 2 more, 3 more. Carlton Medical Clinic. I will just bring that up again. Yeah. So Carlton Medical Clinic started business in St. Albert in May of 2022. It is located on Campbell Park area, a few blocks away from the server's place. We provide full scope family medicine services. Our services include care of children's health, geriatric or elderly medicine, men's health, women's health, and workers' compensation board. We also provide psychiatric specialist services. Again, Carlton Medical Clinic, your business epitomizes this year's theme of Black Excellence, a heritage to celebrate, a future to build. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now 2 more to go. We'll keep you waiting here too long.
This is wonderful. This is fantastic.
Perfect Beauty Salon. You're up next. So, Lenzi's Perfect Beauty Salon is a unisex salon specializing in textured hair, afro hair, protective and longevity styles such as braiding, weaving, cornrows, waves, crochet, okay. That was a new one on me. Fox locks, dreadlocks, sister lock, micro locks, and hair and beauty artistry, hair extension, special occasion styling. Okay, let's give it up to Perfect Beauty Salon. Your business epitomizes this year's theme of Black Excellence, a heritage to celebrate and a future to build. They are not here. Anybody to receive on their behalf? Okay.
Right, we're gonna have some. It's not a place where David and I would go.
That's fun.
We'd have to work on our beard.
Okay, we've got 2 more to go. Memoirs Photography by Abby. I'll bring that up. Okay, Memoirs Photography by Abby, located at 182 Rankin Drive, St. Albert, was founded in September of 2019. It is a photography boutique specializing in portrait photography, professional headshots, family and personal. It is a multi-award winning business, both locally and internationally. That's a good one. Let's hear it up for our memos photographed by Habi. You have the professional eyes, right? And last but not the least, right, I've got the village pub. I think we're going to head out here after this ceremony today, right? The village pub. Okay, what I have here for village pub is the Jade Village Restaurant and Pub have been serving the St. Albert community for over 30 years. They specialize in Cantonese-style Chinese food. That's it. Just short and straight to the point. That's all I have for the village pub. If they are representative here, you epitomize Black excellence, a heritage to celebrate and a future to build. Anybody representing them here? Nothing. Okay. Yeah, you are getting 2 awards today.
They're too busy working.
They have to serve dinner.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so now to entertainment. I'm going to be introducing Mbira Renaissance. So Mbira Renaissance is an Edmonton-based Afrofusion group that blends traditional Zimbabwean Mbira music with elements of jazz, reggae, and Afropop, fusing the traditional Mbira instruments of the Shona people with contemporary guitar, keyboard, and brass. The Mbira Renaissance Band offers a fresh, energetic, yet delicately balanced sonic experience, cyclical yet improvisational. The Mbira Renaissance Band serves a unique take on the contemporary Mbira sound with hints of reggae, Afro jazz, chimurenga, and Afropop. Twice nominated for the Edmonton Music Awards in the World Music category, the band has shared the stage with acts such as Juno-winning group Okan, headlined the Canmore Folk Festival, and played at other venues such as the Newfoundland and Labrador Folk Festival, the National Music Center, and the Calgary Stampede. Band members present today are Chaka Zimbeya, Mbira vocals, and Chiedza. How do I pronounce that? Chiedza Zinjemba, right? So she's going to be leading with the vocals and Hosho, right? Let's put our hands together for them.
Happy to be here. It's our third time. We were here at the very first proclamation event. So thank you for having us again. We are Chaka and Chieta from the Mbira Renaissance Band. And this song is called Shamwari Yangu. We sing in Shona. Shamwari Yangu means friendship. So it's a song celebrating our friendship on this fabulous, fabulous day. Enjoy. Chisikana iwe, unatambana iwe, chisikana iwe, unatambana iwe, chisikana iwe, Shamaria, 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 How about you all join us in clapping? Thank you for having us this evening or afternoon. I just want to say one thing. As we celebrate our African and African descent backgrounds and history, and as we move forward as a community, one challenge to all of us: let us remember our indigenous brothers and sisters. As settlers in this land, we also have a big role to play in making sure that we carry them as well in the work that we do. This next song is called Vicha Pera. It's a song that we wrote. It's a traditional song. We sing traditional songs as well as our own compositions. This is called Vicha Pera. We kind of started writing it during the pandemic. It's a song of hope. Please enjoy.
Yeah.
So our last song, we're going to sing you a song called Gurama Tunu. And we both grew up in Zimbabwe. And when I was young, my parents used to travel to many parts of Africa for work. So our story includes a lot of travel. And the truck that they used to travel in was called Gurama Tunu, conqueror of towns, because it would go anywhere, through high waters, through mountains, and So we wrote the song as a kind of dedication and ode to them for their 40th wedding anniversary a few years ago. And we love singing it, so enjoy our final song. And thank you so much again for having us this evening. This is Gurama Tunu. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.